Good afternoon and welcome to a beautiful sunny day in Manchester. My name is John O'Hare, and what I'd like to do over the next few minutes is introduce you to the true concept of financial planning and how it can have a huge beneficial impact on both your current and future lifestyle. So what is financial planning really about? It's getting you to a point in your life when you can choose whether to work or not, and that you have a passive income, whether that be from pensions, investments, buy-to-let properties, and that income enables you to continue in the lifestyle that you're accustomed to. When we ask our clients what it is they really want, they refer to terms such as financial independence, financial security, peace of mind. But there's one thing that's much more important than that will help them achieve all of those things. And that one thing is lifestyle, and it's something that I'm going to refer to quite a bit over the next couple of minutes. So lifestyle is about whether you drive a small Italian car or a large, luxurious German car. What type of holidays do you want to go on? Do you enjoy camping, trekking, adventure holidays, or do you prefer exotic holidays, cruising, wining and dining? Which golf club do you want to be a member of? Which school your kids want to go to? So lifestyle is different to each and every one of us. So let me illustrate to you how this works and how financial planning can work for you. So what I'd like to do is look at your situation as though you were a financial bucket. Here's your financial bucket, and we know that you may have some cash in there. For example, you might have ISAs, bank accounts, building society accounts with cash in. You may have a few endowments, a few shares, and this is cash that is liquid and readily accessible within 7 to 10 days and can be used for your financial planning requirements. Don't think for 1 minute that you can use your house for your financial planning. That sits outside of your bucket up here. You can't take your house down to Sainsbury's and buy food and drink with it, so that has to stay outside of the bucket all the time. In fact, the house is a liability for most of your life because of mortgages, utility bills, etc. At some point in the future, you may want to downsize the house, and at that point, any equity in the property can actually come into the bucket. But until that point, it remains entirely outside of your financial bucket. You also may have your pension, which sits again outside of your bucket. In the future, you may be able to take 25% of that as a tax-free cash sum, but until that point it remains entirely outside of the bucket. You also have the additional 75%, but you can never get your hands on that capital. At some point in the future you may draw an income from that pension in the form of an annuity, and again that can come into your bucket. It's an inflow of income into your bucket. Also, a lot of our clients are own and managed businesses, and again they may have a business, but that sits entirely outside of the bucket. They may have a great value to it, you've spent years and years building it up, but until such time that you sell it, it remains outside of your bucket. The business owners, they take salary from the business, and again that comes into the bucket as income, and they may take dividends as well. If you don't have a business, then you have income from salary from your employment. And in the future you may also get your state pension, which again is an income inflow into the bucket. So at the moment all looks fine. The bucket should start filling up, but there's a slight problem because you have a tap. This tap over here has outflows, and that is the lifestyle that we've referred to before in terms of golf club fees, school fees, day-to-day living, food, drink, wining and dining. So that's coming out, and in turn reduces the assets or the capital within your bucket. So at some point in the future, this first tap is going to switch off and the second tap will come into play. And this is when you're retired or maybe financially independent. And at this point, you actually might be spending more money because you've got more leisure time, more holidays, etc. So you can see money coming out of this tap. Now this tap will go on for a certain amount of time until one day it too gets turned off to be replaced by another tap. Now this is the tap you will turn on when, quite simply, you're too old to enjoy yourself, where you're too frail, unable to go on the holidays, get on an aeroplane. You just can't do it anymore. That takes you really through to when you die, and at that point that tap switches off. Arguably there's another tap over here that allows for one-off purchases, whether that's a second property, holiday home, education fees, one of your children get married, and you can see here within the bucket how that impacts on the assets within it, the capital in there rising and falling. So my job is really to help you manage what's inside of your bucket, and I can guarantee you that one of two things will happen. Either the bucket will run out of money, which would be a real shame given that you've worked for 30, 40 years and all of a sudden you've got no money left. The other side is that your bucket could overfill, and that can create two really serious problems. The first one being that after all those years of paying tax, that your bucket's overflowed, and when you've died you have to pay inheritance tax at 40%, which, okay, it's only tax, and that's your beneficiaries who have to pay it rather than you. But why pay 40% tax when you don't need to? But that's not the worst thing that can happen. There's something much worse than that, and that's that you've not been able to do some of the things that you could have done. You may have worked 5 years longer than you wanted to. You didn't go on that world cruise. You didn't go on that fantastic holiday with your wife or husband before they died. You didn't help the kids out when you know you could have helped them out. So my job is to really help you manage your bucket, to enable you to do the things that you want to do in your lifetime, to help you to finish work early. That's where we can help you. That's what we call real wealth management. And if it's something of interest to you, please contact us. Thank you.